Hey everybody, Luke Gordon here. In this video about treating BPPV, I want to share with you 4 things you can do if you've had some luck already treating your vertigo, but you're still having some residual symptoms. So you're still feeling a little bit, off kilter or a little bit wobbly or woozy or unsteady. You feel like you've gotten the majority of the symptoms, but you still need to just kind of fine tune some things and get rid of some of those residual sensations. So again, we're talking about BPPV, which is benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. That's your most common type of inner ear vertigo. I won't go into huge detail right now in this video because you're probably already familiar with it if you're watching. But it is, again, those little crystals that get loose in your semicircular canals, and you're trying to put them back where they belong, which is in your utricle. So again, I won't go into all those details, but I do want to talk specifically about the fact that a lot of people, after they've treated their vertigo and they're doing the right things and the Epley Maneuver is working and or the Gufoni is working well, they still tend to feel a little bit off. Like when you're walking, you'll feel like you're just a little bit unsteady, or maybe the room or the environment is still moving a little bit. So first off, that's really normal. So what I want to do then is just tell you 4 things you can do to hopefully kind of nip that in the bud and just get that back to your normal baseline, okay? So the first thing you want to do is just, we call them vestibular exercises. Essentially what you want to do after you've gotten those crystals back where they belong in your inner ear, first off, you want to keep them there, of course, but once they're there, you want to start to retrain your inner ear a little bit. So I've got a video on, they're called VOR exercises. I'll link it here and I'll link it at the end, but that's the first thing I do with people after I've helped them get over the majority of the symptoms with the repositioning maneuvers, is I give them those vestibular exercises. VOR, that's your vestibular ocular reflex. So really cool reflex between your inner ear and your brainstem and your eyeballs. So that's a cool one. The most common one you'll see is X1 viewing, which again, I won't go into huge detail, but it's the one where you're looking at a fixed object, your eyes are locked on the object, and then you're just turning your head side to side while you maintain your vision on that point. So again, I've got a video on that. I'll link it back there and at the back of the video here. So that's the first thing you want to do is those X1 viewing. You can advance that then to X2 viewing, which is a little bit more complicated. But then you can also do some other types of vestibular exercises. I need to make a video with some more details on that. But basically anything where you're working with your eyes closed is usually pretty valuable. So you're working on, standing with your eyes closed, any of those balance exercises like that. Because when you close your eyes, it really focuses on your inner ear having to communicate with your brain. And when you can do that with both sides, both inner ears on each side, that's going to help bring them back into symmetry and just make sure they kind of agree again. So any of those things you can do. There's more dynamic balance exercises you can do, things that involve like walking and turning your head and looking around the room. Any of those things that challenge your inner ear are going to be good for you. So keep that in mind. That's the first thing you can do, vestibular exercises, and also just those general dynamic balance exercises. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can do, and this is one I think needs to be highlighted more. I haven't seen many people mentioning this, but the second thing you can do is you just need to keep in mind that you may need to treat again. So again, you come in, or you're doing treatment on your own, that's right, because you're watching YouTube, right? You're doing treatment on your own, you've gotten some good videos, some good success. You're still feeling a little bit off though, and a week goes by or so and you're still feeling a little bit, just not quite right. You may just want to retest and then retreat. Because the way that most inner ear vertigo works is that instead of just having like one crystal loose in your semicircular canal that's disrupting things, you probably have a bunch of little particles that are loosely connected. So it's quite possible that when you did the Epley or the Gufoni, you got most of it. You got most of the particles. Maybe you got 95% of them, including the ones that were really bothering you, but there still might be just a little bit left. So don't be afraid to retest, which would be Dix-Hallpike first, supine roll test second, retest, and just treat again if you need to. So that's the second thing. Don't overlook that, because your residual symptoms really could just be you've got a little bit left. You got the majority of it, but not everything. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, and this is what I do with all clients when they come in, is check your neck. Because a lot of my patients that have vertigo, especially if you're a little bit older, but even if you're young, a lot of us young people, I'll say young people with myself, even though I'm 41, I still feel good. We have neck issues. I work on my computer almost all day. When I'm not working with clients, I'm on my computer. So I get stiffness in my neck, or whatever else you do, you work out, you get neck pain. So your neck can be a cause of vertigo. It can be a cause of some of those residual symptoms. If it's real tight, stiff, you've got a lot of like pressure and pain up at the base of your skull, that can be causing some residual symptoms too. So don't be afraid to look into your neck and just see if you think there's something there that your PT or your chiropractor can treat, or your massage therapist, or if you're good at treating your neck on your own, by all means, check out your neck too. So that's the third thing that could be causing those things. The fourth thing that you want to look into, and there's quite a few videos on this, I haven't made my own video yet, but I will soon, is you want to look at potentially some vitamins and some supplementation if you need to. So the specific ones that you'll see a lot of research on, or you'll see a lot of videos on YouTube on in terms of vitamins, the most common one you'll see is vitamin D. So if you're low on vitamin D, there is the possibility that that could be causing some of your residual symptoms, or it could be causing you to have, more episodes of BPPV just because of the relationship between vitamin D and calcium absorption. So I won't go into that, too deep, but what I will say is that if you are low on vitamin D, supplementing for vitamin D and increasing your level could help you with some of those residual symptoms. So that's the first one you see a lot of. You also see a lot of talk online, and there is some decent research on other types of vitamins that could be low. With vitamin D, you want to consider K2. That's one of the ones that goes in there as well. And then the other ones you'll see are B12 and then iron and magnesium. Sorry, I gotta check my notes here. So check those ones too. So it could be, if you're just low on a few of these things, you can test for vitamin D. The other ones you can just try supplementing and see if those help you with your symptoms at all. That could be an easy fix for you. And in general, I don't think it typically hurts to take like a high quality vitamin, if it's a multivitamin, or if you say, gosh, I do tend to run low on iron, you can talk to your doctor about iron supplementation. Magnesium glycinate is pretty easy to get a hold of. Most of these things are naturally occurring, so you don't worry a whole lot about any serious side effects. If you have questions, of course, talk to your doctor, talk to your naturopath, pharmacist, your favorite supplementation guru, whoever you talk to. So that was the fourth thing. And on the back of that, there really is a fifth thing. I should have called the video 5 things. But the fifth thing really is just your general health and nutrition. So we can talk about supplementation again with vitamin D, the B vitamins, K2, all these things. But really a lot of our overall health and our overall nutrition just relates back to what we eat. And so are you eating well? Are you eating healthy? Are you eating a nutritious diet? And then of course, there's all sorts of inflammatory effects of foods like gluten and dairy and processed refined sugar. There's all sorts of inflammatory effects, and maybe that is, influencing your inner ear or your ability to make a full recovery. So don't discount that as well. It's always a good time to improve your health and your nutrition. It's always a good time to exercise more. We all need to do it, kind of preaching to the choir, I'm sure. But don't overlook that too. So if you're not eating real healthy, that could be affecting your BPPV and some of those residual symptoms too. Okay, so those are your top 4 with a fifth. I hope that helps. Please leave a comment before you go. If you've had some luck with any of these things that I mentioned, or any specific type of supplementation, or all 4 or 5 of them, please leave a comment below. I really feel like people do look for advice and look for other personal stories on these comments, so you might just help somebody else out. So good luck with your BPPV. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time.